Let's roll on to Sunday. We move to 1 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bears 3-7, 1-4 on the road at the Atlanta Falcons, 4-6, 3-2 a homer at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's start with the line history here, and I know a lot of people will be looking at this over. First, though, the side opened up Atlanta -3 at -106. That got to -3 at -120 this morning at 10 a.m. It's come back 9 cents. So it's -3 at -111. From a total standpoint, this opened up at 49.5. I know some offshores had it at 48.5, but this opened at Pinnacle at 49.5, now at 50.5. It is juiced to the under at 50.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have just 4,791 tickets in, 70% of the tickets and 79% of the cash on the Bears. 70 and 79 on the Bears. Market not moving towards them. Interesting. And then we have 79% of tickets and 90% of cash on the over. Okay, let's get to work here. Bears come in off the wild 31-30 loss at home to the Lions. Bears' last 3 games, the average point total has been 68.67 points. And they're hanging a 50, and everybody's all over the over thus far, but it's only moved up a point. 2 at some of the offshores. Justin Fields was 12 of 20 for 167 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He also ran 13 times for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. He'd run for 178 the previous week. That's the highest rushing total by an NFL quarterback in a regular season game since at least 1940. Only quarterback in the Super Bowl era with multiple rushing touchdowns of 60-plus yards in the same season. Both came in the last 2 games. Wild. The interception was a mistake, and it was costly, and it was returned for a pick 6. Now, he did answer that by running 67 yards for a score, but it did show some of the issues that he's been dealing with, making bad mistakes. He should not have thrown the ball there. But the Bears as a team ran 35 times for 258 yards, first team in Super Bowl era with at least 225 in 5 straight games. Cole Kmet led receivers with 4 catches for 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did look like he got hurt at the end of the game, and there's no information that I've got thus far about if he's fine or what went down. The Bears now have put up 29-plus points in 4 straight weeks, and their defense looks bad, unable to get any pressure. They got no pressure on Goff. Jack Sanborn had 12 tackles and both the Bears sacks, but there was very little pressure happening. Sky Dragon took the over 49. Says Chicago can score and play no defense. Not as big a bet as in weeks past because I don't trust Atlanta to do much of anything. And Saturated saying Herbert to the IR. Wow. That new information there I will look up. Thank you for sharing that with us. I did not know that Herbert. Oh, are you talking about Khalil?
Yeah. Khalil Herbert is. Yeah, he got put on the IR today.
Okay. Sorry,
that's Montgomery back there.
Talking about Khalil. Okay. So Herbert on the IR. Then Falcons come in off extra rest and prep after losing 25-15 at Carolina on Thursday. Mariota was 19 of 30 for 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. He also ran 3 times for 43 yards. Atlanta came in averaging 162.9 yards on the ground. I guess you could say they were held to 138, but it was very easy to defend them. The Panthers just filled the box and dared Mariota to beat them, and he was incapable of doing it. Demir Bird caught 3 passes for 58 yards. Drake London 5 for 38 and a touchdown. Kyle Pitts just not getting the numbers that we saw last year. 2 catches for 28 yards. Defense couldn't get enough pressure on P.J. Walker. 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits. The Panthers continually gashed them on the ground. A season-high 232 yards. Now, Atlanta averages 23.2 points per game. They're a 3-point favorite here. You're going to need to have them help out if this game gets over. Take it away for us, Andy. Is the Bears-Falcons over low-hanging fruit?
Maybe, but not as low-hanging as weeks past. I worry about the Falcons' offense. Their insistence on just running the ball and becoming one-dimensional. Maybe it's a week where the Bears' defense doesn't look like, a high school defense out there. But, yeah, this Bears' offense could continue to have their day. I'm leaning towards a bet, and it looks like Papa Calls has already hit it. Just isolate the Bears in this one. The Bears as an underdog or the Bears team total over. If you think this offense is going to continue to be a fun offense, and I guess in the case, if he throws a pick 6, who gives a shit? He's getting the ball right back. That's good. It's like Jameis Winston, just getting the ball right back, guys. So, yeah, Chicago team. If there's a team total on over on the Bears, that's at 24. That's 23.5, 24. That's something I'm very interested in.
Yeah,
Because the last couple of weeks, the Falcons' offense has looked, kind of dismal, and it's been against some teams where, the Chargers are one of the worst run defenses in the league, and Atlanta was running up and down the field, just couldn't get drive sustained, couldn't get it done in the red zone. Only put up 17 points. The Panthers are not a good team. They only put up 15 there. Like, I worry about this offense. Like, we've seen them. It's kind of a feast or famine. Like, yeah, a few weeks back, 37 in an overtime game against the Panthers. Early in the season, they had some higher scoring outputs, but the last 2 weeks don't give me a lot of confidence to just keep playing these overs. So maybe just isolating it and playing the Bears team total over. I don't see how this offense stops. The Komet thing has me a little worried as he's starting to build kind of a rapport, and he seemed to get a lot of targets. So I'm going to hold off on this one for now, but that's a pretty hard lean on a team total I like.
So possible team total over 23.5 for the Bears. That's at minus 113 right now at Pinnacle. It was funny with the Bears Lions game. I knew a lot of people on the over, and I was surprised the market wasn't moving quicker or heavier to the over. I didn't move on it. And after the 0-0 first quarter, I thought, oh, good thing. Good thing I didn't move on it. And then, of course, the explosion late, and it cruises over. If you had a free bet on the side here, what would you do? Are you surprised with all the money coming in on the Bears that the market isn't moving off the 3?
I mean, sometimes it just takes a little more to move off the 3, especially we're early in the week. Wouldn't surprise me if this closes Atlanta minus 2.5, and you probably see some buyback on the Falcons. But if you made me bet a side, I'd bet the Bears just because I trust their offense more right now, which is not something I thought I'd say preseason.
What about the idea that Arthur Smith is a really good coach? Maybe he's not just a decent coach or good. Maybe he's a really good coach. And what about the buy low opportunity after they look so bad in the rain and now come indoors? And their weakness in the secondary can't really be affected by Justin Fields. And we know there's only one thing you have to do with Fields is you have to have a spy on him and stop the run. Do you think that maybe Arthur Smith can show what kind of quality he is as a coach, and this is a possible buy low spot for the Falcons?
I'm not sure they have the speed in their secondary and even in their off-ball linebackers to properly do that. I mean, it's one thing, we can sit here and say, let's just spy him and let's not let him do that. Like, I'm sure people did that with Mike Vick for many years, and he still did it. Sometimes a guy just is better than you, and you just don't have the personnel to properly account for that. And, he didn't put up a lot of yards through the air, but he was mildly efficient. Obviously, the interception was horrid. I mean, that's just bad. It was a really bad interception, but he was able to find Komet a few times. He found Mooney a couple times. I think Pringle had a catch. Like, he's getting a lot of guys involved. He's coming along. I don't think he's going to be a good passer at the end of the year, but I don't trust Arthur Smith to put in some game plan. Maybe he's smart enough to do it, but he doesn't have the personnel to.
All right. Possible team total over 23.5 for Andy on the Bears, and I need more time with this one. Terry Walker laughing. Atlanta has a good coach. I thought he was a bad coach until I watched their beginning of the season, and I was like, I think I was wrong about Arthur Smith. Papa Cal says that look ahead line last week was Chicago plus 4.5. All right. I find it wild that there's been a move in the juice towards the Falcons when all the money's coming in on the Bears, and that's going to give me pause for sure.